Hello, today is November 6, 2020. I would like to talk about the notion of global village and incorporating that concept into the Islamic Republic of Iran. The global village means that the world that we live in has become very small. For example, when an event takes place in one part of the world or in a country, let's say a few weeks ago or 1 week ago, we had an earthquake in Turkey in the city of Izmir. Immediately we were aware what happened, particularly that little girl survived the earthquake. We had the real life footage, and there was a follow-up story. She was in hospital, she was recovering, she was doing very well, and a cherished moment for the community and the whole world. So this is what global village means. The world interconnected. There are other aspects of the global village. There's a politics, social, art and culture, and economic. For example, in Japan, young people like to become Elvis, or they enjoy Western culture and they cherish it. That's a cultural aspect of it. They like Western music and they're going toward in that direction. However, as they are enjoying the Western culture, they're preserving their traditions and arts, respecting their elders. All that is in place. Nothing changed. So it is over there. Economic wise, it is a well fact known that the world, like one country, is not able to say, oh, I'm just going to rely on my own resources and I'm just going to do what I want to do. Now the nations are sharing their natural resources with one another to have economic prosperity. So if I want to have an economic partner, I am going to use political actors. So the political actors are helping business to develop themselves around the world. Multinational corporates are we are talking about that. Now let's talk about the regime in Iran. The political actors in Iran, such as Hassan Rouhani and Ayatollah or Sign of God, Khomeini says, whoever will be elected to the White House, it has no impact in Iran's foreign policy or domestic policies. Well, just to begin with, the US has been imposing economic sanction against the cleric regime in Iran, and it's causing inflation rate and devaluing Iran's currency. So to say that whoever will be, is it Joe Biden or it's Donald Trump, who will be elected to the White House, that's not little bit, extremely naive. It's extremely naive point of view to say that. So it does affect. That's a distance part of it. Like we have seen it many times when one nation has an economic recession, it affects all of them. I remember back in the 90s, one economic recession happened in the Dragon nations, and all of a sudden it affected European nations. It was back in the 90s. One gentleman was misinforming. He was from England. I can't remember his name, but that was back in the 90s. That he did something illegal, and it caused economic recession in many Dragons nations like Japan, Korea, all those nations. In Canada, whatever the US does, it has an impact on Canada's domestic policy. It was back in the 90s. Former mayor of Toronto, Mel Lastman, plus the provincial government, Mike Harris, they were contemplating to have a red district like European nations. In Holland, they have a red district. That's what they were talking about. But they couldn't do it because the US does not allow to have red district. The US has porn street that they could make movies, and there are some places that they're outside of the cities, and John goes over there. But it is unlike Holland. It's very different. But they couldn't do it. And they were in Canada. They were talking about decriminalization of marijuana, and that was absolutely no, 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 no. We cannot have marijuana under any circumstances. So because of the US has a policy of war on drug, and Canada was saying if we want to decriminalize it, it has an impact on the US policy of war on drug. So we could see how nations are interconnected. We live in a global village. And when the cleric regime, the political actors say, oh, it doesn't matter who will be elected to the White House, it doesn't affect us, that's very short-sighted. And let's say if Joe Biden is elected or Donald Trump, the dilemma of the regime in Iran will not be solved anytime soon. Thank you.